real quick, hopefully. Kicking myself after this one. I knew this guy's playstyle container, the Zerg with the marine job, since I lost him before, so I wanted to do some kind of 40 drone Roach Ravager. I didn't a build order for it against Terrans, so things aren't super crisp, mainly trying to identify fight or not fight, micro mistakes. Not sure if the fight around 8 minutes was a good idea. I might just start skipping the start for the most part. I don't know enough about the new meta. I don't like the Overlord's not going out. Where's he going? He's searching for a base. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. We want to kind of chill on the drone making. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. We're going to have just enough money to make the 2 queens. No? Oh my god. Where's our queens? What are you doing? What in the fuck? My man. Your pool. Your pool finished at like, let's be reasonable, like 2:30, right? 2:30 is a clean pool. You have the money. What are we distracted by here? We can see down here we're not building a queen, right? When we have this highlighted, we can tell there's no queen building. We understand how this works, I hope. 30 seconds late. You could have been building almost, at this point, you almost could have been building your second set of queens. This is really risky as well. Luckily, he thinks that the queen's about to pop, or it's going to be popping anyway, so he's gone home. But he could have absolutely caused havoc with this. That's really bad. I hope most of your games don't end up like that, because that's not a good thing. We're going for a Roach Ravager thing, was it? I think you just stay on the gas, to be honest. I mean, you survived the early game without the queen, so I think you just go for the gases, to be honest. I think taking the third's a good idea. I like build orders that look like then something like a normal build, and then they just like you just flick a switch and then suddenly you're all inning. That's the kind of stuff I love. So I like a lot of like 2 base with a third hatch that has no intention of ever actually taking it. We're floating so much money though. The Terran's actually ahead in supply, and the Terran's probably going to be ahead in economy. It's very close, but he's mining more gas because we're just not droning, bro. We're not spending our money. We have 1,000 resources. We have like 24 drones worth of money sitting here. Maybe 26, 28 drones worth of money sitting here. You could be on 60 workers if you had the lava for it. We're putting a bunch of lings. I mean, unless we're like banking it so we can Ravager all in. I'd love to see a third. Oh, I think this was a little mistake here. So the biggest macro mistake, if this wasn't intentional to bank waiting for the transition, then I think the first big mistake, and the queens obviously, my god, that's a bad one. This could afford to be further out. Absolutely. We have no vision of when he's leaving his side of the map, and with what, right? So if he had a cyclone, he probably could have popped this, which puts us in a bad spot. We don't know what kind of follow-up there is from this. But when he comes in here, just real quick, he comes into this corner, we come down out here, then we dive into here, and then we aren't quick enough to react to then just spread out, like pull the lings down into here and just A move, like right click and then quickly A move and get a good surround so he can't leave. I mean, it's still going to be a decent fight for us, but also like he didn't have to get away there. We could have easily stopped that. Oh, it's surfboards. I had no idea what it was. It was on the other map too. I thought they were crystals or something. Map makers go hard. Pulling 6 drones into the gas is probably not ideal. I don't mind where this is going, but I honestly feel like if this is a Roach Ravager all in, you don't even need a lair, which is another Ravager you could buy, another 4 Roaches, and I feel like you are just looking to make Ravagers. This kind of doesn't feel like... I know there was no build order, but also if you're a Ravager... doing a 40 drone Roach Ravager timing, you don't need upgrades. You're not wanting upgrades. The whole idea of this would be to bust the wall down with a handful of biles. I typically want like 5 or 6 biles so you can bust down a whole chunk of wall in one hit. This would be ideal, right? And then you run in. I wouldn't want to show him my bunch of lings. I definitely wouldn't run by like that. And we want to hope that we can get across the map with as many roaches as possible. If he doesn't have siege tanks, you could easily just like bully your way in. So the time this takes to upgrade, and if you do pay for these, it's less stuff for you to have in the bank for when you want to morph your Ravagers and stuff as well. So I just don't think any of this is necessary. Well, this money, this gas could have been spent on literally just making more Ravagers. It's pretty cool. That's sick. Alright. So we got pulled apart by multi-prong. And I guess the issue here is that we had a plan, but our plan didn't hit before his plan. And so now everything that we were thinking about, and everything we've worked up to 7 minutes into the game to this point is null and void, simply because he's on our side of the map before we're on his side of the map. And look at this, because of our lack of vision, we're going to move out at the instant he moves in. We're going to go back, the lings are going to go first, they're going to get... oh no, he did a pretty good job picking up, he didn't leave a lot there to die. Set the lings on it, literally right click them onto that, and then run your Ravagers across the map, because what's he got? A handful of Marines and some mines. The mines are a pain in the ass, that really can be painful, but all in all, there's not a lot here that we need to worry about. My graphics settings are low. And so because we didn't set the lings on him, we don't know that he's doing this again. We are not supply blocked, but we're behind versus Terran who's on 60 workers. And I don't feel like 20 roaches, 20 lava, 12 lava. Yeah, there's a deficit problem here way before this. I think we could have gotten to 40 drones way quicker. And this is another issue here. We don't want to show our hand like this before the roaches get here, because the roaches are the bully. The roaches can walk up here, they can take care of the bunker, they can take care of everything, but they take care of it a lot quicker if you had just made Ravagers here. Because you could bile the bunker down, boom, easy. What are we making behind this? Drones, more roaches. Has he got 1-1? He's got 1-1 as well. Yeah, take what you can, but time's running out. He didn't even really do much to keep you at home. It's just that this fight was not it. We didn't have the speed to get to where we wanted to be, right? So how long did it take us to break from the point we showed him? So this is the issue, right, as well. You've shown him this is a micro thing, but this is also like, you want to treat this like a little bit of like a game of poker. He knows you have roaches and he knows you have lings, and a good chunk of them, more than this can deal with, right? So he doesn't want you to move out. This threat here is here because he wants to keep you at home. You've moved out anyway, but you've shown him your lings, which tells him that you're probably moving across the map. I mean, you could have left the roaches at home, but there's probably a very good chance that up until like Masters, you're just bringing everything down and you're just going to go for it. So here, we don't really get anything done. We show him what we're doing. We get some mild damage on like some units here, and then the roaches show up. Now you have enough gas here to turn a whole bunch of these into Ravagers. They should have been turned into Ravagers on the way down, and then you get up to here when this starts happening, and then we just bile right here. We knock out 2 supply depots, the bunker and probably the marines inside it. So you want to drop like 5 or 6 here, and then if you've got a 7th, you put it over the bunker, and then when the bunker explodes, the marines standing inside also cop a bile, and they're instantly killed. And now you have free reign to just walk into here with his 4 marines with a bunch of lings. But instead, what we do is we take this slow approach where the roaches can't all even get into range to kill this. This would have already been dead, and you would have already been into here had you just made these into Ravagers on your way over. I know it slows everything down, but it means that when you show your hand, he has got less time to react, and it means that we could bile these down instead, right? You could have just gone bang bang with 2 biles, and bang 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 with 2 biles as well. Maybe kill the biggest clump first, which would probably be right here. 2 biles will kill a mine, and you would have got that. The problem with mines is they don't trigger as like an enemy unit until they've already shot, I think. So they can, if your army is being engaged already by anything else, they will ignore the mine unless it's like the closest military unit they can, or there's nothing else. And so we pushed in, we take too long, we gave him enough time to just casually walk his marines back. Behind this, we are building roaches again, when we probably should have actually just prayed and built a round of drones to saturate our bases. Again, like this was, we actually had 1-1. Did we have 1-1 when we pushed? We didn't. So it's an anti-timing. And an anti-timing is basically where you push before a piece of tech or some upgrades are done. Now, Terran was already ahead. Bear that in mind, right? He's on 60 workers. He's crushing you in income, right? You've just taken a bad fight versus him. You're very far ahead. Very far behind. 500 resources lost. 500 resources lost. Wait, what died then? A tank? What died? Something for the Terran died. Anyway, 500, 600, 700 resources behind. An opponent that's ahead in supply has almost double your work account, has an active army on the map that is better than anything you can field right now, that isn't, like, unless you have Banes. Are you getting Bane speed? No, we're not. We're getting Roach Ravager, which is okay. You'll have your upgrades in time for this push, but we're so far behind on in our resources. There's nothing we can do. I think this is a very lost game. Unless this attack can do something, but this is actually a troubling amount of bio. And here again, right, we show our hands, we should be preempting where he's going to be attacking from as soon as we see this, right? What are we looking at? What are we looking at? I don't know why he let the... Oh, he had mines in it, that's why he let the Overlord live. You're on this other side of the map as well, right? So this is a map control concept here. You can see he's coming to your side of the map, but as far as you're aware, besides that, he's staying home. And if he's staying home, he can't also be in the map. The mines are okay, but they're not going to like destroy everything. They want to kill some workers, kill a queen, Overlord, whatever, but they're not going to just run through everything that you have. And so with this, you are now in map control. You are map control as far as you're aware, because you're assuming he's staying home. And if he's staying home, you should be droning. And these are the moments you should be droning more. You should take this army, drone up behind it, and hopefully if this army survives long enough, it's not an intensely bad trade. Hopefully you're like 16 drones ahead of where you were, and then the next round of roaches comes quicker, and it comes out faster, and it gives you a better advantage because you'll be fighting it on evenish work accounts. So we come down here. I just want to watch this from your view. We see this, right? So 4th CC. Boom. We see his army. We should be going bile, 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 bile. Right? We want to keep this range. We have more range than he does, right? Range 6, range 5. We have better range with the Ravagers. So the Ravagers, what the Ravagers are going to do then is they're going to force him to either eat those biles, or he's going to run into them, and slowly he's going to have to either be dodging them as he comes up, bar, 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 which is going to be way too much for a Diamond Terran, or he's going to have to come up right into our front in order to get the Marines safe and to start getting into firing range of us. But when he gets into firing range like that, he's going to be eating quite a lot of damage first. And because he's going to be eating all this damage first, he runs the risk of losing quite a good chunk of Marines just before he's even engaged really in the fight. He's risking losing a lot of stuff. If his army's quite big, which I think it is, it's a considerable size here, considering it's just bio. If you were biling already, he might not even make it all the way through before the biles start landing. Beautiful. He leaves. He leaves. So preemptively bile. We've got enough ravages here. That's amazing. That's amazing. So preemptive biles, I would like to see. We don't want to split any damage off here that we don't need. We want all of our army together. Roaches and ravages do not fight well against this when split off. How many drones did we lose over here? That's pretty good. Honestly, we only had like 13 drones there or something. Alright. Now we're here. Where do we bile? I missed it. Nah, that's perfect, but we should be spacing them out more. Right? Because he just has to move his army once. You've got 7 seconds to lay another bile down, right? Yeah, about 7 seconds I think it is. Yeah, 7 seconds to lay another bile down. You have enough ravages here to constantly keep him bile in maximum range, right? Where he can hit the roaches, but the roaches can't hit him back. The ravages might be able to hit him back out of range, but the biles again force him to either, he needs to leave that fight, or he needs to come into full range of the roaches and the ravages in order to engage you. But dropping all the biles at once doesn't change any of that, right? We've got 1 good bile here, 2 good biles. The roaches are stuck at the back. They're not even fighting, right? This is a problem as well, right? Because we actually have probably a winning army here, but we've chosen to take everything home. The bio is going to chase us down regardless of how we feel about it, especially if it's stimmed, right? Yeah. Especially if it's stimmed. That's good. It's a shame it didn't get anything, but that's a good idea. Finger on the trigger with the roaches, I hope. We had an overseer with the fight, but I don't think we have another one. Has he got 2-2? Or is he getting 2-2? Yeah, he's getting 2-2. So time's running out for us to actually make this count. Hopefully this has all been very helpful for you. But I feel like if you'd have taken the first fight with Ravages, straight up win here. Please tell me those drones. These are drones, but what's interesting, right, is you already haven't got map control. So your army should probably split between here and here. You haven't got any vision. You haven't even got an overlord here to spot him like rotating around or anything. Or up here to see him like dropping in. Up here, there's no overlords in any of this dead space, right? So he could just like come down here, pick up everything, come up here, get to the ramp, and then you're fighting uphill versus probably a worst case scenario. It's a slightly better army that you have, but bio with the medevacs is still pretty good, so we can't count it out just yet. But you're home. The Queen's just out of range to actually help. That's such a shame. There we go. She did it. She did it. And so because of this, we're droning now. We're droning into a base that we can't defend because we can't see any of this coming. Boom. Here we go. Queen's going to do nothing. That's a fantastic pickup. Don't build anything else. Build a hatchery. Fantastic. But this could have been avoided had we had an overlord maybe here. We want the overlord not here and not here. We want it in a spot where maybe it might catch units kind of fumbling against the terrain. You're floating a lot of gas too, so you could be heading into Locus or something right now. And we've done it again, right? We've decided we're going to just go punch him in the face. He left, but he didn't really leave. But we didn't know that, so we're just going to run the risk of going for it. We should always be taking an overseer with us. We can't fight this, so take the base for what it's worth. Oh my god, that would have been such good biles. We took the most horrendous fight we could. Past the stage where your opponent can get siege tanks, it is an absolute misplay to ever try and do something like this, especially when you've already tried to like ram raid his base a few times. I think it's a massive mistake to think that you can just walk up here, because the problem with this is having no vision. If you do commit to coming up here, he actually has 2 more tanks here. They're not sieged right now, but they could be. You don't know what's up here. He could have this tank to lure you in, right? And then there's like 3 or 4 more tanks here. So you come up, you get vision of this, walk up, bile this, and as you're biling this, you get absolutely pummeled from this side. So you need the vision to make sure you know what's going on. So I would be bringing the Overseer down here to spot this, and then bringing it over to here to see also his marine movements. If he's bringing the marines out, you can preemptively bile, but the tank is obviously our first priority. We want to take the tanks out without getting tanked ourselves. So we're basically even here, which is crazy considering how far behind we are. We're about to take a god-awful fight. We have biles here, just like 1 here and 1 here would have been sick, because this is a ton of workers. How many workers has he got here? Oh my god, it's like 24. Yeah, it's a whole mineral line. No, wait. It's more than that. No, 24, yeah, 24. That's heaps. And again, we run back. Oh my god. That's game. Took a 2,000 resource fight mid-map that you didn't, at his side of the map, that you did not want to take, that you had no vision of, you had no prep for, and then you walked back past his bio that now has 2-2 while you are not getting 2-2, while you are down 20 workers. Oh, it's only 10 workers, but still you're down 10 workers, and you've been down workers all game. A whole base worth of workers you've been down all game. Terran's got 3-3 coming. This is very bad. With the amount of gas you've actually got here, what would be beautiful is actually infestors. 3 fungals, kills a bunch of bio, and then the roaches are there just to like clean up what's left. Or you could use lings. Just the lings die real quick, so I'm not a big fan of them. And there's not really a lot of counterplay. He can't pick up. He can't run away. He just kind of has to sit there and eat it. And yeah, we're 80 supply down. There's no coming back from this. The only thing you could pray for is with the gas. When at this point, like, I think you're about to tap out anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But at the point you're at, like, I think it was just before you went home. You're already starting to float a lot of gas here, and so I think getting this amount of work is so bad. Literally 1 saturated base. Losing the hatchery bad as well. Obviously all bad. Saturating this back up to full would be #1 priority, and then getting into a hive and getting into hydras to get into hopefully lurkers and stall out and keep your defense up. But this is still a very big if. I hope all that was very helpful. I'm just going to grab a screen grab for the YouTube video. But I think the first attack, if it was just sharper in the execution and we didn't show our hands this easily. Right, imagine if your roaches were here at the same time and he's just casually moving. He probably didn't even realize he wouldn't have burrowed them that quickly, right, if everything had showed up together, and the roaches probably would have actually got kills on them, which is huge. That changes a lot. Alright, just think of this whole army barreling in here without a care in the world. It's such an easy win. It's such an easy win. You have so much gas here as well. And again, this is a drone window, right? The risk is here that he just goes here and just kills your base anyway. But then you can always take this base with that. You could have made a whole round of drones here. You have enough lava and you have more than enough money to make a full round of drones here, and we didn't. What was the first thing we made? It was, I guarantee it was roaches. So the roaches pop out almost 20 seconds later, right? Almost 20 seconds later, you could have had a full mineral line saturated over here, right? And they start generating back their income instantly. They're not making up their loss, but they're generating income for you instantly, which is another 700 minerals here. So this is ticking up a lot faster, and that's allowing you to actually start making the next round of roaches faster and faster and faster and faster. It's such a shame that we didn't... It's not even like the build order doesn't need... It's not that the build order even needs to be crisp. It's just like gathering your army up first before you attack, and just having something like the Ravagers to just punch through and quickly get into the base. That's it. If it wasn't... If it was that, this is 100% such an easy win. I don't doubt that for a second. But we live and learn, don't we? Alright, that's going to be it for me. Until next time. Thank you for stopping by if you did, and if you got replays, please do send them through or find me on Reddit. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Bye.